Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Hope you people are doing fantastic. I am Kotresh from Genius Growth, a free learning platform from the classes 8 to class 12 to face the competitive exams with ace. Today we are back with class 10 biology. We are with the chapter life process and we have successfully finished the two life processes called nutrition and the respiration. Now it's time to discuss everything about the transportation. A very interesting topic from the chapter, that is the transportation. Yes guys, it is very important to understand about the transportation. Why? Because a very important topic from the chapter. Why? Because a huge topic is there for the transportation. I had finished nutrition, respiration all in 3 or 4 sessions, right? But transportation took more and more sessions. Why? Because we have a huge topic from this transportation. But it is very interesting topic. Hope all are get ready, right? Then why are we wasting time? So let's get started. First, let us understand what we mean by transportation. See guys, the transportation is nothing but transferring of every material what we have to every part of the body. Means that distributing of nutrients to every part of the body. Transporting of nutrients to every part of the body. That is what we meant by transportation. It is a life process which will take some responsibility to transfer every nutrients to every part of the body. Say in the nutrition we have intaken the food, that is that the food is in our stomach. The glucose the food, whatever the glucose is there, whatever the carbohydrate is there, it's converted into a glucose. That glucose is needed to every cell of the body. Yes or no? Why? Because every cell is needed the energy that the glucose has to transport from the stomach to, say for example, whatever may be the organs in the digestive system. There the food is there, no, in the large intestine, the small intestine. That glucose has to go away to every part of the body. Why? Because in each and every part of the body the cells are present. Those cells are need that glucose. That's why it has to be transported to every part of the body. That's why the transportation is needed. The glucose has to transport. Yes or no? To break down the glucose, to release the energy, we need what? We need the oxygen, right? In the presence of oxygen only, glucose will break down to form a carbon dioxide, water, and lots of energy gets released. This is all we discussed under the respiration. Yes or no? So this energy gets liberated in the cells, means that oxygen which is there in our lungs, it has to transport to every cell of the body. Yes or no? So transporting of the oxygen, transporting of the glucose, nothing but the food, yes or no, nutrients, and transport of the hormones. We not discussed about the hormones, but still we will discuss this in the control and coordination, which is the next chapter of your class 10. Okay, we will discuss there about the hormones, how the hormones will get transported. For these 3 transporting, we need a life process called transportation. Now you came to know why transportation is very necessary. This is all we discussed in the first session of the chapter, that is what the glance to study the life process. You can see the above pop-up. Please go with that video and you can understand why we are going to study every life process. Okay, that's it. Yes guys, coming to transportation, the definition for the transportation is transport of the oxygen, food, nothing but the glucose, hormones, etc. to every part of the body. That is what the definition for the transportation. Understood? Okay, see, we are discussing transportation in humans, nothing but the vertebrates, means that we are not separately discussing every organism. See, we humans are the vertebrates, no, whole vertebrates having the same similarities are so much same. That's why we are discussing everything about the humans. Then we will move with plants. That's it. Okay, we are discussing transportation in humans and transportation in plants. Okay, now let us discuss everything about transportation in humans. Yes guys, coming to transportation in vertebrates. See, this transporting of those nutrients has to go by the system called circulatory system. Circulatory system will help us to carry these nutrients to every part of the body. Okay, so then how it is going to take part here? Let us discuss that. It is going to take part in the system called circulatory system. What do you mean by the circulatory system? The circulatory system has 2 types called open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Through this circulatory system, every nutrient what is there needed for the body to every cell of the body, that nutrients will transfer through that circulatory system. Understood? No? So let us discuss about the two types of the circulatory system. We have two types called open circulatory system and the closed circulatory system. Open circulatory system is nothing but where the blood directly flows into every part of the body. For the transferring of the blood, we know that every thing, whatever we need to transport, it might be oxygen, it might be nutrients, it might be hormones, everything will transport in the blood only, so that if there is a proper arrangement of the pipes are nothing but the vessels here, okay, if the blood is transporting through the blood vessels to every part of the body, there is a system of blood vessels, then that type of transportation we call them as closed circulatory system. Understood? No? If the blood is directly flowing to every part of the body, say for example arthropod, molluscas, you will learn this in a diversity in living organisms, okay, there you can see that the blood will directly flows into every part of the body. So there is no proper arrangement of the blood vessels, there is no blood vessels at all, there the lymph and the blood is mixed. But in the closed circulatory system, only blood and the lymph are get separated. Can you say which circulatory system is there in our body? That is what the closed circulatory system. The closed circulatory system is there in the humans. Okay, take the points of open circulatory system and the closed circulatory system. The closed circulatory system is very, very important to understand. Once again to revise, open circulatory system is nothing but the blood will directly flows throughout the body. See, the tissues are there which are suspended in the blood. They have not, see for example, my finger is here, no, this finger is separated and the certain blood vessels will carry the nutrients to this finger. But most of the invertebrates like molluscas, arthropods, say for arthropods are nothing but the insects, guys. You can imagine the cockroach. In the cockroach there is no blood vessels and all, directly the blood from the heart will pumps to the tissues. The tissues are dissolved in the blood, that's it, okay, they are not get separated. Okay, they are suspended in the blood. Okay, so that is how we can see the open circulatory system. But it is not there in case of the closed circulatory system. In the closed circulatory system, the oxygenated blood is separated, deoxygenated blood is also separated. There is no mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. But still, in some vertebrates, there is closed circulatory system, but still there is mixing. But in our human body, there is no mixing of oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. Okay, so this is all we will discuss in the upcoming sessions. So now try to understand the differences between the open circulatory system and the closed circulatory system. That's it. Okay, so now let us learn everything about what are the components is there in closed circulatory system. See, in the closed circulatory system, we have four components called the blood vessels and heart, and we have a lymph. Okay, see, blood, we know that in the class 9 we have studied the blood is a fluid connective tissues. It will transport the oxygen, it will transport the hormones, it will transport the nutrients. So that is very, very important to understand about the blood. That thing we will discuss in this class. In the next session, we will discuss about the blood vessels. See, the carrying of the blood is done by the pipes. Pipes are nothing but the vessels here, okay. The carrying of the blood will be done by the certain vessels called blood vessels. See, we have three types of blood vessels called arteries, veins and the capillaries. We will study all that in the next session. In the another next session, we will learn about the blood pump. Which will pumps the blood, guys? That is the heart, right? So there is important to study about the heart, yes or no? So that thing you will study in the next session after finishing the blood vessels. Okay? So if you want to understand the circulation in the human body, you must have a knowledge about the blood vessels. Then only you can understand about the heart and the circulatory system in the humans. That's it. Okay, and the last part of the human beings we will study about the lymph. Okay, these are the, after completing all these concepts, I will come with the transportation in plants, so that the transportation gets finished. Okay, so these are the topics we are going to discuss one by one. Now let us study everything about the blood. See guys, in the blood we have two components. Okay, the blood has two components. The one is plasma and the another one is cells. Blood cells are there. See, first let us discuss everything about the plasma. See, the plasma is nothing but fluid matrix of the blood. See, I am taking a test tube. In that test tube, I will add 10 drops of blood and I will keep some time like that only without disturbing the blood. Then what happens? I will observe in the hospitals. You might be observed when they are taking the blood test and all. Okay, if they will keep like that, in upper part of the test tube, the transparent liquid is there. Not so transparent, is what pale yellow in color. Okay, the pale yellow color fluid is present, and at the bottom the red color is present. Have you observed or not? You can see the picture over here. Okay, so you can imagine like this. If you are not seeing the pale yellow color, you can see the straws of the mice, right? In the mice, the straws are there now after rotten. Okay, after rotten, the straws are in pale yellow color. That color is nothing but a pale yellow. Okay, in that color the plasma would be there. Okay, so this is what about the plasma. Then what is the function of the plasma? See, usually there is so much of functions is there for plasma. This plasma will carry the deoxygenated blood. Okay, there is lack of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is not present. That's why the oxygen will not goes with the plasma. So the plasma will carry the carbon dioxide. The blood is with the carbon dioxide. More carbon dioxide is there in the blood means we call with the name as deoxygenated blood. I already told in the respiration, right? In the blood, the oxygen concentration is more means that blood we call with the name as oxygenated blood. In the blood, if the carbon dioxide concentration is more means that blood we call with the name as deoxygenated blood. Understood? So the plasma will carry deoxygenated blood, nothing but it will transport the carbon dioxide from the blood tissues to the lungs. From the lungs, we will exhale the carbon dioxide. Understood? Okay. It will also transport the foods. So the nutrients which are there, the glucose and all, they transports by the plasma. Okay, and usually the plasma is a combination of the water and one protein is there. That protein we call with the name as albumin. Okay, the plasma is contained of the water and albumin. Both will combine to form a plasma, blood plasma. Okay, yes. So this is everything about the plasma. Now let us discuss everything about the blood cells. See, actually speaking, we have somewhat came with the contact with the blood cells. Have you heard about the RBCs, WBCs, platelets? Yes, obviously we have heard somewhere, right? RBCs, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. These are nothing but the blood cells. We have three types of blood cells, namely red blood cells, white blood cells and the platelets. Okay, see, red blood cells are nothing but which are contained of hemoglobin. See, some special pigment is there. Likewise, see in the greens, if they are green in color, the special pigment is present. That is what the chlorophyll. Due to the presence of the chlorophyll only, the plants are green in color. In the same way, okay, if the blood is red, means it is only due to the presence of the hemoglobin. If you eat more and more iron content foods, you will the hemoglobin concentration will increase so that your blood becomes so much red in color. Okay, so the blood is red in color means there is one reason, that is the presence of hemoglobin. That's it. Okay, due to the presence of the hemoglobin only, our blood is red in color. Mainly the RBCs are red in color. So then what is the function of the RBCs? See guys, due to the presence of the hemoglobin, we are discussed in the respiration only. This hemoglobin will bind with the 4 oxygen molecules. So they are more attracted towards the oxygen. It has a great love towards the oxygen. So that's why the hemoglobin will bind with the oxygen and with the combination of both two. Okay, with the combination of the hemoglobin and the oxygen will bind. So and then it will transport to every part of the body. So can you came to know how the oxygen will transport? The oxygen which is inhaled, it is present in the alveolar, right? Through the alveolar blood vessels, the hemoglobin will bind with the oxygen, which is where the hemoglobin is present in the RBCs. RBCs is nothing but the blood cells. So those blood cells, from that it will transport to every part of the body, so that the oxygen will transport it. Yes or no? So that's why what hemoglobin is very important to transport the oxygen. Okay, so hemoglobin only transports the oxygen to every part of the body. Try to remember this point. Okay, so now let us move to the second blood cell called white blood cells. See guys, white blood cells are the one which are lack of hemoglobin. In the RBCs, there is a presence of the hemoglobin, so that it is red in color. So here there is absence of hemoglobin. There is no such pigment is present, so that's why they are white in color. Usually they are colorless. That's right. Okay, they are white in color, and these white blood cells will increases the immunity system. Usually these white blood cells will defend For a defense mechanism, this is white blood cells are very, very important. See, we have came across the COVID-19 situation, right? Then the coronavirus has come. To fight against the coronavirus, the one is helpful is, that is the WBCs. Due to the presence of the white blood cells, then only those white blood cells will make dishum with the COVID. Understood? No, with the coronavirus, that the coronavirus will get outside. If there is a WBC less in our body, okay, if the WBC is less in our body, then the corona will attack you. Not only the corona, whatever may be the infections, whatever may be the viruses will attack you. So that's why we need to increase the WBC's content. Okay, so that's why the main function of the WBC is to defense. Okay, they will defend, they will fight against the germs. That's it. Okay. Okay guys, let us discuss everything about the platelets. See guys, this is what we call clotting factors. So much in the platelets we have clotting factors. Due to the presence of those clotting factors, we are able to clot the blood. When you have seen the wound, when the wound was happened in my hand, the blood will comes outside, no? So that the blood get wasted. Yes or no? So if to prevent that blood loss, we need to prevent that. Yes or no? Prevent the flowing of the blood. So when the wounds will happen, the black color layer is formed and it will prevent the blood flowing outside. So that the blood will stays in my hand. Yes or no? So it will be conserved. So this is what happens by the platelets. The platelets will clot the blood. It will prevent the blood loss. That's it. Okay. So that's why we need to increase the platelets level. Say for example, every infection has happened. If you are suffering from the fever, the doctors will suggest to take the blood test. So which is more, which is less? If you are suffering from the blood, if you are suffering from the fever, the oxygen supply is less. Means that the RBC content is less. In the RBCs, the hemoglobin content is less, so that the oxygen supply is not so good in our body. So then you will suffer from the fever. Okay, so if the WBCs are more, if you are attacked by the viruses, means that the WBC content is less. Okay, so that you need to increase the WBC level. That's why you will go with a blood test. If the WBC level is less, you need to increase this to fight against the germs. If any wounds has happened, more the blood is going outside, means that you're having a less platelets in the blood. Okay, so that's why you need to increase the platelets level. That's it. This is what the importance of studying the blood. Okay, so we have studied the three components of the blood. Three blood cells of the blood. That is what the RBCs, WBCs, and the platelets. Red blood corpuscles. Okay, red blood corpuscles are nothing but the red blood cells. White blood corpuscles, we call them WBCs. Platelets. That's it. Okay, so these are the what information about the blood. It is very, very important to know about the blood. Hope you enjoyed the session, guys. Okay, let us revise once again what we have learned today. See guys, today we have learned everything about what the meaning of the transportation. Transportation is nothing but a transport of oxygen, nothing but a gas, and the food, nothing but the glucose, to every part of the body, along with the hormones also. So all this was done by the blood. We have discussed about the blood. Before going with that blood, we have discussed the types of circulatory system. This circulatory system will contains of blood vessels, heart, and the lymph. We will discuss one by one. In this video, we discussed about the blood. In the next video, we discuss about the blood vessels. In the another next video, we discuss about the heart. Then we will move with the lymph. Okay, that's why we will complete the human circulatory system. So then we have two types of circulatory system called open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. In the open circulatory system, the blood is directly flow into every part of the body. There is no blood vessels to carry the blood. Okay, and then in the closed circulatory system. In the closed circulatory system, the blood will flow through a certain manner. That is what we call through the certain blood vessels. The blood will pumps into the blood vessels to the certain blood vessels. Those certain blood vessels will carry the nutrients to every parts of the body. Okay, the advanced one is closed circulatory system. Okay, and this is about the types of circulatory system. Then we have moved to understand about the blood. We have two components in the blood. The one is plasma and the another one is blood cells. In the plasma, there is content of the water and one protein called albumin. Due to that presence, the plasma is moreover liquid only. Okay, this is what we call fluid matrix of the blood. That is what the plasma. Then we have this plasma will help in transporting of the deoxygenated blood. Means that it is going to help for the carbon dioxide to transport, and then it will also transport the glucose. Then we have moved with the understanding of the blood cells, RBCs, WBCs and the platelets. These RBCs have contained the hemoglobin, right? This hemoglobin will bind with the oxygen. Why? Because there is more love towards the oxygen. Nothing but there is more affinity to an hemoglobin to attract the oxygen. It will bind with the oxygen, then it will transport to every part of the body. Then we have discussed about the WBCs. These WBCs are lack of hemoglobin, so there is no color for the hemoglobin. These WBCs will defense against the germs. Okay, these will fight against the germs. It will builds up the immune system. Then we have studied about the platelets. These platelets will these platelets contain of the clotting factors. Those clotting factors will help us to prevent the blood loss. Nothing but they will help in blood clotting. That's it. Okay. This is everything about today's topic, guys. Hope you have enjoyed this topic. Okay. If you like this video, like it, comment, and do share the videos with your friends so that your friends also get benefit out of this. Do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in the best possible way. Thank you, everyone.